Thunder, thunder, thunder.
Uh, Fudge.
Sickles.
Yeah. Well.
I saw John DeLuna sign on a little while ago, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Oh, I was talking to. I did a tweet while ago to Brickinator, and he's asked me about how I compare Chronos to the new one, the new one that's coming out. I need to see some better pictures first.
It looks terrible.
It looks really derpy.
So Rob Springer made a great point. He said it looked like one of those quick change figures. And I'm like, yep, it sure does.
Let me see here. And I can't believe the visualizers are already in stock. I really wasn't ready for that.
They look good. I watched.
Is that MMC? Which one is that?
That's the Make Toys version.
So I canceled my pre-order because I'm like, I just bought. I can't buy that right now. So
Yeah. Well, I was able. I was talking to Plasticon, and I bought his Glacial Lord instead of getting it elsewhere because I saved about $40 on getting his over the other one.
this reminds me, and I'm not going to bring this up in the show. Did everybody see my tweet this morning by chance?
I was
probably
look.
A guy at work, don't know him well. He's new to the team, but I really like him. He is clearing out his garage.
Oh yes, I did.
And he's going to give me a bunch of stuff, G.I. Joe stuff and Transformers stuff. But one of the things he offered me was an in the box USS Flag to give me, and I'm like, awesome. No, you need to sell that on eBay.
That's just a good. That's a good collector story that we don't get a lot of.
Yeah, so like he's got a bunch of junker stuff. I'm like, I'll gladly take all the junker stuff. I've got parts and stuff I can cannibalize. I've got
I'd have morally compromised on that and just offered him money for it.
I still might because he might not want to go through the effort. But the thing is, what I feel that it's worth, I don't want to spend on.
I know you could, yeah, but at the same time, you also know that what you will save him in eBay hassles is also worth some of that value.
True. So one of the things he's given me is a bunch of G.I. Joe figures that are perfectly fine, except the O-rings are bad. So basically in one afternoon I'm just going to replace a bunch of O-rings. And
you should videotape that and put it on the YouTube channel.
I could.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
No, I mean, especially if you can just bullshit your way through it the whole time talking about random stuff. I mean, there is an audience for that.
Yeah, and
plus, if you like really focus in on one or two, you can also kind of call it O-ring replacement lesson.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey Rob, there's a great picture. Diamari retweeted it from Ranger Board. Did you see with all the Yellow Rangers? Did you see that one?
No.
It's Deca Yellow, Shinken Yellow, Gokai Yellow, Mighty Morphin Yellow, Go Buster Yellow, and Bear Guy.
I hear words laughing. It's
just a funny group picture.
Did you eat your food? I'll be back.
I thought he was talking to Don. I'm like, what?
Oh, my dog's being
talking to Massey. Did Massey jump screens somehow?
Massey jump screens. That would be funny.
Yeah. Oh,
It's The Ring, but with Don's cat.
Never watched it.
Yeah. Oh, we got in the deployers today. The drift. I didn't see the fracture yet, but they were not in the right section because the reset's coming up.
I guess I could have looked around more to see if that stuff was hanging in the wrong place, but at the same time, I don't care.
Yeah, drift looks kind of dorky. I mean, it doesn't look as good as the regular Warrior Class figure. Oh, speaking of Warrior Class, if anyone wanted that Grimlock, Amazon does have it available for purchase. The recolor.
You told us that like 2 weeks ago.
Okay, I don't remember. I didn't.
TF40.net/Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are the Vipers still available?
I will check.
They are, because I'm ordering some right now.
Oh, there you go.
Didn't you get enough at BotCon?
It allowed me to put it allowed me to put 30 in my cart.
Wow. I wonder
if
I should buy a whole bunch because I picked up a table for NJCC for November. I wonder how they'll sell in November.
Yo, you're doing a table?
Yeah.
Neat. What are you going to sell?
Stuff.
Yeah.
As he looks to the pile.
Lots of Creo and other stuff. Quick switch.
Well, now, like I said, Diecast, bring him with you because I may want to pick him up from you at TFCon.
When's
You're gonna have to let me know before I go though, because I'm not gonna want to bring it and then bring it back.
Well, make sure you bring Synicus, because I'm buying that off of you.
Are you flying
Yeah.
or driving?
I'm flying.
Oh, okay. I thought you were driving. So okay, that's
you got a
fine.
ticket
Okay.
for $76.
Round trip.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I remember him saying that because trying to fly out of Greensboro or Raleigh, I can't get any fares like that ever. Oh, and guys, I appreciate y'all inviting me on that cruise, but really, it's just not. It's not going to be feasible. I mean, literally a couple years
That is
ago.
the worst idea I have ever heard.
It's not a bad idea. It's a good idea.
Oh, it is a terrible idea.
When I see,
Sorry,
literally,
genetics demand that I keep both my kidneys.
well, see, I literally, I literally a couple years ago took my tax refund to my travel agent that I use, and I said, "This is how much I have. I want to go on a cruise. I don't want to fly anywhere, because I think they departed out of."
So this is your chance.
No. I'm saying I had several $100s on that tax refund check. I couldn't go anywhere as a single person.
Several $100s. So you're measuring in hundreds, not.
Well, no, I'm saying okay. I had $700 in change from the tax refund. I told my travel agent I would like to take a 3 or 4 day cruise, and nothing major, just something I haven't done before. And I literally could not buy a cruise to save my life with $700.
Yeah.
Because I was going by myself,
Mm-hmm.
and I have no one to go with me. Literally, there is no one that I know in my circle of real
Fred.
people. He doesn't have. He's married and has a mortgage. He doesn't have the money. And
Well, ask on the show. Maybe we can get someone to room with you.
So, but I'm just saying, it's just not a feasible thing being a single person. And if I wasn't single, and I had somebody, I wouldn't need to take the cruise because I'd have someone with me. But it's just.
Well, you might still want to take the cruise. I mean, one doesn't rule out the other.
Well, it's just not going to be a thing that happens.
Like I was trying to convince Matt to go, but he's like, "You're gonna have your wife, and Brian's gonna have his wife."
Brian's gonna have his wife, and I'm gonna be the single guy who's either the fifth
Well, you
wheel
you
or
could go
really,
with
really
Don.
cool.
Exactly.
You can go
Please.
with Don.
Melvar has standards, please.
No, but I mean, it's not like you have to hang out all the time. Like a lot of the times when we go with groups,
Yeah,
it's
okay.
you do what you want, and
okay.
sometimes people just happen to be there, and you hang out, or you say like one day, like, "Hey, let's have breakfast together." You don't have to do it. You don't have to be.
I will say this.
24/7.
I think originally this cruise thing was Kim's idea.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think it was.
All right, here's the thing. Let's say you're outside looking in, and you see this big group of people taking a cruise, and you're just watching them walk by, and you see all the couples walking by, and then you see 2 guys in the back of the line looking depressed, like they're hating life, and want to jump off the side of the building because they cannot have fun because
Contemplating throwing up over the side of the ship.
and just wishing they weren't there. That would be me and Melvar.
No,
No, I can do that at home.
one of the group of people that's going, they're 2 sisters, and
Oh,
I
Don,
have a
did you hear
couple
that?
other friends.
Did you hear that?
Yeah,
They have standards.
and then I got a couple other people that might be going, where they're going to be doubling up with friends.
Be doubling up a Don.
How much does this cost?
Oh
Because
God!
I haven't
Did you
really looked
look
at the
at that?
brochure.
Look at the brochure, Melvar.
Yeah. if
I
you think-
get an interior room because an interior room I don't need a balcony, and the only thing you do in the room is change, shower, and sleep. So I get an interior room. It's $640 per person,
Okay, see, I'm
Plus-
trying to buy a house.
taxes, and
So,
That's a good point, Melvar. I am too. So maybe I shouldn't do
Uh-huh.
this.
yeah, I think I'm going to have to skip this one.
Maybe next year after I buy the new house. Or maybe not. I
Well,
don't know.
no, because then you'll have a new house.
Yeah. Kim really wants to do a cruise though, and she suggested that we do it with you guys. So that's how much she likes you guys.
I think it's a good idea.
That would be
gone on a
that would be
couple of
fun
cruises.
if
It's a lot
I
of
could
fun.
afford it this year, and there were more of us going.
Okay, now how about this? Instead of a cruise, we rent a Winnebago.
Oh god, I will probably lose
Because
power.
like that sounds more affordable and more approachable for those of us who have issues with boats. I'm not saying car sickness isn't a thing, but not so much as seasickness.
That sounds
Well,
like a long trip.
Yeah, I've never actually had a problem. I've been on a couple of nothing as big as a cruise ship, but I've been on a few fishing boats out in the Sound and a couple of
Excuse me.
ocean bound ships. Nothing that big, but I've never had a problem with seasickness.
I have. It's not pleasant.
I have an issue with car sickness, not seasickness.
I get seasick, but I don't get sick on a cruise because the boat is so cruise ship is so big. It's like being on a city.
No,
Yeah,
that would be
yeah,
being
yeah.
on an aircraft carrier. A cruise ship is rather smaller.
Yeah, it would be. It would take a lot of inclement weather to really get the ship a rocking.
Yeah,
If this ship's a rocking. Okay.
They've got an old aircraft carrier as like a naval museum somewhere, don't they?
Yeah, the Yorktown is in South Carolina, and the
I'm
Yorktown
gonna
is.
go
Yeah,
see that someday.
I've been on the Yorktown. It's at Cherry Point, as a matter of fact. They have
Flashbacks.
and they had a Russian submarine. Now you talk about cramped. A Russian World War II submarine. You literally, the movies don't give you you think you would understand by watching like say like some of the submarine movies and stuff, like Operation Petticoat, just as a name. But no, you really don't expect that. Now the Yorktown is massive, but the thing of it is to remember when you're walking it, that is a small aircraft carrier. It's about a third, well, a half to 2/3 smaller than most of the other carriers at the time in the fleet. And this thing is huge by a layperson's standards. And you got to remember, it's a small carrier, and you can sit in the anti-aircraft guns. That's fun. Sitting in the anti-aircraft guns is fun. Most of the ship is still open. Again, this was many years ago when Mom and Dad were still with us. But you couldn't go into like engine. You could go into parts of engineering, but the parts that were still running to keep the ship afloat and operational, they were all cordoned off.
Right.
But I mean, if you're down around, I mean, if you plan on going to Charleston, like for a visit or just a vacation, yeah, it's not that far to Cherry Point.
Interesting.
When I was a kid, see, I'm a big World War II naval buff, and also Civil War naval history, which is really fascinating. As a kid, I would dream that I would sneak onto the USS North Carolina and steal it. I didn't know it was basically no hull and held up by concrete pylons. I didn't know that. I just dreamed one day of sneaking on board and just sailing off with the ship.
Have you ever thought about joining the Navy?
I had thought about it when I was younger, but I wanted to fly, and
The Navy
you
has
can do
planes.
yeah, well, it's 20 over 800. No,
he also
Right.
has glasses, so he would
That's
qualify.
what he just said.
said.
Yes,
Well,
that
actually,
was his vision.
well, when I was in high school, I'm not sure I'm sure they still do. We were given
ASVAB.
the ASVAB, and I scored really high in the electrical and another category. I can't remember what it was, and I had every branch of the service calling me to consider enlisting. Even the Coast Guard
Yeah,
called
I
me.
had that too.
And at the time, the Coast Guard, I was told after the fact by one of the recruiters, the Coast Guard never called anybody unless you scored really high on the ASVAB. And they even called me, and it's just like I really wanted to fly. And I asked the guy, asked the recruiter, look, I really want to fly. He said, son, what's your eyesight? My worst eye? Yeah. 20/800, but I've got good glasses. And he said, son, you scored high enough that you could do anything in the Navy. We would be proud to have you. But son, you can't see. You can't fly because you can't see.
Well, I
Well,
felt
there's
that one.
nothing to run into up there.
So
I don't think it's the up there they're worried about. It's when you're down close to like the carriers and the airstrip.
So I was getting calls from the Air Force until I was like 25 because of the ASVAB. I scored in the 99th percentile. My total score thing, the one where they take the academic ability and the other ability, it was pretty good, but it was not as good as but whatever. But like I'm like, dude, you have no idea how fat I am. So just I mean, I would just be like that. He's like, well, we can run that off of you, son. I'm like, no, you're not going to. Just like, I'm no, please.
Well, not the Air Force anyway.
No. Oh, my friend at work, JP. He was in the Air Force, and God Almighty, it's amazing. Like they have air conditioned tents and stuff. It's ridiculous. It's like an Army base, an Air Force base is going to, or something. Yeah, an Air Force base is going to be decommissioned, and torn down and replaced. And the Army's like, well, we'll take it. It's better than what we have, you know. It's
Yeah. And then compare that to a Marine Corps barracks.
yeah.
Go ahead.
They had air conditioned tents. That's ridiculous.
yeah. So it's that was my brief brush with being in our service to our country. But I'm sure y'all feel safer knowing I wasn't up there armed with missiles flying around 20
okay,
years
Don.
ago.
It's not like you'd be flying over us.
They let me stand on a gate with a 9mm strapped to my hip. How safe does that make you feel?
Well, yeah, but you're relatively sane.
Bum, 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 bum.
Okay, so I've got Dawn fooled. That's good to know.
I'm a little afraid of Melvar now. I wasn't really before, but after BotCon, I don't know. I'm a little bit afraid of him.
Well, I mean, see, he's rocking the Anthony Ainley, mustache and beard. I mean, just throw a wig on him, he could be the next master.
I don't get that, but
Doctor Who reference.
Yeah.
oh, okay.
I mean, Rob, you see it though, don't you? With the goatee and the beard there, if you just trim the goatee a little bit.
I think if he trims the goatee, he loses it.
Well, I mean, make it more a little pointed than just.
Oh, okay.
Make it a little more pointed. Kind of like.
I think he ought to do that regardless, though. That would look
Well,
cooler.
yeah, I can try, but it just kind of pops back into shape. So
I don't know. You trim it into shape, and then it, you
Well,
know.
actually, now that I look at it, Melvar could pull off a good Chaotica from Star Trek Voyager. Now that I think about it.
from what?
I'm not sure it's a compliment to say that anybody can pull off something from Voyager.
Oh, Voyager. Okay, yeah, that explains why I didn't know what he was talking about.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I've remarked on occasion that Hey Mickey looks a little bit like Robert Picardo, but that's completely different than saying he looked like someone from Voyager.
Yeah, he actually, I could absolutely see.
No, the Doctor wasn't that much of a prick. Come on.
If Mickey just had a little bit less hair,
Well, Robert Picardo as the Doctor was one of the saving graces of Voyager.
It was the saving grace of Voyager.
But it wasn't always enough to save it.
I was about to say, he was the grace. I don't think it was saved.
Good point. Good point.
But I will admit, one of my favorite
he
episodes.
tended to save any scene he was in, at least, if not the series.
Hey, so but before we start streaming the show, or doing the show, we're streaming now. So Chris saw Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, yeah.
Rob, did you see it?
No, I've seen various excerpts around, but I have not gotten to go see it.
I saw like the last half of it in Japanese, so I know how it ends, which is fine.
Yeah, that's about what I saw.
But so I wanted to see it Saturday, but I can't because I have to go to a funeral. So I'm seeing it Sunday. I am super excited. I can't wait.
It was pretty fun, I will not lie.
I didn't like Battle of Gods that much when I went to go see it last year.
Then you'll probably like this better.
Yeah, I get that
Since
feeling.
it's, fighty, DDD.
And it, having seen the end of it, it featured, my favorite character gets, a little bit of use.
Like, the thing is, the two movies kind of play to both sides of what Dragon Ball Z is. Battle of Gods is primarily fun filler Dragon Ball, and Resurrection is fight, fight, fight.
Yeah. Yeah. Looking forward to it though.
Yeah. I was talking to Fort Max on Twitter, chatting with Fort Max on Twitter, and there's just so much anime that I need to finish Crystal. I need to go back and finish Pretty
You don't,
Guardians.
Don. You really don't.
He said the same thing, but I need to finish it
Well,
up.
Fort Max is right.
Yeah. But I need to go back and finish Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon.
You need to go watch this obscure anime called Vampire Hunter D. I think you would like it.
I saw some of D a long time
I was being
ago.
sarcastic about it being
Oh, okay.
obscure.
Well, no, I'm it's old school, you know.
I hated it. But I think that was what ruined me on anime forever.
Heck, I got Devil Hunter Yoko on DVD around here somewhere.
For me, it was Love Hina.
And my first exposure to Evangelion was the last episode of the series.
We know, Don. You told the
Oh.
story before.
My first
sorry.
exposure to anime that I knew was anime was Fist of the North Star. I'm like, oh my god, this is awesome! And
Well, I
Comics
was
better.
oh yeah,
I
no
was-
doubt. It wasn't awesome, but it was because I was like 13.
Uh-huh.
I was lucky enough to grow up with one of the greatest animes of all time, Star Blazers.
Have you ever watched the original Gundam, Don?
No, I have not. It just by the time I found out it was a thing, I was too far. I was into other stuff, and it just never really.
Well, it shares some personnel with Star Blazers, just so you know. The character designer in specific was I believe, an animation director and character designer for some of Star Blazers.
Oh, awesome.
So it's, I think if you like that, the original Gundam is actually something that you will probably enjoy, but it is kind of a heavy show. So
Yeah.
be prepared.
Well, it's like I said, I enjoy build fighters because it's like Decade. It's all
Yeah,
the
but original Gundam's nothing like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm just
remotely.
saying. Yeah, it's just I like all the fun and all the excitement, but not with all that.
So tell me if my understanding of this is correct. The original Gundam got dubbed and slightly recut, and it was released in the U.S. as the Big O. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Sure.
Oh God, I'm not a big.
Okay,
I was really surprised they were able to take the episode of Gundam about chasing the roving salt lake and make it about tomatoes. That was very impressive.
Brian, you just made some poor anime's fan head just
Good.
Yeah, you made some poor anime's head.
Explode. Then we're back to Fist of the North Star.
Yeah.
Okay, now can Kilby say some horrible phrase that will produce someone to be able to speak and write Sanskrit?
Probably not.
I would have to reference Batman the Animated Series. And Batman can do that backwards.
in space.
The sad thing is, if Big O had been a recut Gundam, the ending probably would have made more sense.
Yeah.
And been
Yeah.
more enjoyable.
It's weird. As much as I love mecha and robots, obviously, I just never liked the Big O design. It's just something about that design that just never clicked with me.
That's probably the arms.
Well, it was kind of Popeye-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it makes sense since its primary attack was punching things.
Yes.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So,
Oh gosh. Okay.
it wasn't without reason.
Yeah.
Bum, bum,
Yeah,
bum,
but one
bum.
Besides, Don, you should have loved that. You should have loved that second season episode with the whole super robot parody bit.
I don't even know what that is. I mean, as far I might. No, okay.
Did you never watch the second season of Big O?
I never watched any Big. I watched
Oh.
I watched one or two random episodes, and that was it.
He was too busy watching his DVR episodes of Gundam Wing over and over and over and over.
No, not Gundam Wing. It was probably G Gundam or Tamers or Dygard. Dygard's a good mecha show. It's a little bit of a parody, but there's one episode where basically they were building a robot to fight an alien invasion, and then the aliens leave before the robot's done, and then they come back 20 years later. So all they have to fight is with this robot that was built on a budget. So the 3 people that have been tour guides for the robot, actually the only ones
My
who know
God,
how
it's
to
actually really, really boring.
Anyway, I'm getting to the fun part. In their first battle, he needs to attack from a distance, but he has no long range weapons. So he pulls off his arm with the other arm and calls it a rocket punch and throws it at the alien ship.
Interesting. So talking about newer stuff, is Attack on Titan actually any good?
No.
I didn't think so.
That was my take. No, it's just, it's just gore and dreariness for its own sake, in my opinion.
My brother-in-law
I'm old.
My brother-in-law tried to show it to me, and he was talking about how awesome it was. I'm like, this really sucks. I don't get this. So I'm glad it's not just me.
It's like all the worst parts of Zeta Gundam without any of the good parts or fun robot designs.
Okay, so Don,
Yes.
in the couple minutes we have left before the show starts, watch this.
I'm gonna go grab
It's 4
coffee.
minutes long. Just watch the whole thing.
Okay, what is this? Okay.
I'm busy monster hunting. What is it you're showing him?
Back to Great RX-3.
Ah, yes.
Oh god, the music is
Uh huh.
uh-huh.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
This thing is going to stomp me.
So, John, I'm getting a little bit faster. I built my second DTOF in about 2 hours today with lights.
Nice.
One more
Good
to
job.
go.
How
You
much
gonna do
did
that
those
one
set you
tomorrow or
back?
what?
Yeah. The only thing that kind of upset me is I thought I had the right lights in the same direction as the first DTOF I built. When I got it all together and turned it around, I was like, they're opposite.
Oh.
So
Wow.
I think it'll look all right. The next one is I'll make sure that's opposite that, and then I'll have like one in each direction.
Can you like center them and have like one like in each direction on one side and then the third one centered?
Yeah, that's all. Yeah.
Or buy a fourth one. Have them alternating.
Well, they'll
That's an
alternate
option.
now with the
Yeah, just
three.
keep going.
So
Yeah. But I think with 3, having the middle one centered will look better.
it might not even be noticeable. They're not. They're all on diagonals. It's just that this top shelf is on a diagonal this way, and this top shelf is on a diagonal this way.
Ah.
Your DTOF?
Yeah.
I looked at those.
Your
Yeah.
Dolph Lundgren.
Yes. I'm totally going to buy some when I move.
Yeah, they
Sounds
would be a
about right.
pain to move with.
I'm not moving those.
Yeah. But I feel like I'm never gonna move, so like 3 DTOFs, that'll hold me off for a while.
Well, if you do make that move, somebody else will handle that stuff for you, so I wouldn't worry.
Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of awesome. I would probably buy that as a Solar Chigokin figure.
Is he watching Inhumanoids?
No.
No.
He's watching Big O.
Yes. I just wanted a better Big O figure or kit than the one Bandai put out.
No, the one,
Wasn't
the one
there a high-end?
There was a high-end model, but I never got it.
Uh.
I think eventually they did do a Soul Chogokin, but it was way after I cared.
Yeah, it was expensive even for a Solar Chigokin at the time.
Okay. We ready? John, are you there?
Yeah, I'm
I
here.
guess not.
Yeah, he's there. Sweet. You've been very quiet.
I was chilling out.
You hunting wabbit?
Sure.
Now it's duck season.
What's that euphemism
Rabbit
for?
season.
Duck season.
Rabbit season.
Me touching myself? No.
And the sad thing is, poor kids these days, they don't
I have
watch.
no idea.
Yeah.
Might be a good thing.
Looney Tunes does make things better.
They may not be ready for that hyper violence and
It was fine for us. What's the
racist
problem?
stereotype left and right.
Yeah. Nobody watch Bugs Bunny Nips the Nips.
Wasn't there? I know there was at least a few with him and Hitler. Wasn't there a Daffy Duck with Hitler?
Yeah.
There's a lot of Hitler in Looney Tunes.
Yeah, Looney Tunes, it does get really racist. Oh God, I feel bad even saying the names of some of them. I was going to cite the name of one of them that's just terrible, but I can't say it without sounding just terribly racist, so I'm not going to.
Slowpoke or somebody else?
No, it's a
You
play.
can type in the Skype chat.
It's a play on Snow White and Seven Dwarves. If anybody
Yeah.
remembers it.
Oh yeah.
I don't even feel comfortable saying it.
They also had characters committing suicide. That was fun.
Yes, they did.
I can
have
only do
that.
I can only do it once.
It was a good bit.
Yeah.
Now I've seen everything.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think America's youth is ready for that.
No.
It was fine for us.
Yeah. We grew up knowing that if we fall off a cliff, we're going to die, and know not to do it.
Well, sort of. You get mixed messages, really.
Okay. I guess I'm ready.
Okay. Well, Brian, can you hear my fan? Do I need to turn my fan off too?
Yes, I can hear the fan.
Okay.
Maybe can you just move it? I don't want you to suffer.
Well, I turned it down on low. Can you still pick it up?
It's blowing
Yeah.
straight on you. So can you do it? Like, can you
I-
have it?
Hang
I
on,
do.
let me-
Just turn it off.
That's what she said.
hang on, let me.
Giggle.
I'm gonna put it someplace else.
Yeah,
There.
just like put it on your back
That's what she said.
or your crotch. I don't hear
Okay.
it now. Okay. And you unplugged, I guess, because I don't hear it.
Yeah.
Sweet. God, that's awesome, Don. Okay, let's do this thing. She'll start a new recording. Make sure my levels are good. Hey guys, say something. Just say something
And
cool.
then we just wait for it to crash.
Yeah.
Hasn't crashed yet, so
And
Give
then
it
there
time.
was. Yeah, and then there was the boom.
yeah.
XSplit is fantastic. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Yeah.
Chicken Boo, what's the matter with you?
So it crashed on me last week, but after installing Windows 10, it's fine. We'll see.
What?
Yeah. Okay. This is Radio Free Cybertron, episode 429, and I crashed. I'm kidding. Last week we crashed a lot. Yeah. I'm Brian Kilby, and with me this week we have Headmaster Don, Chris, Diecast, Melvar, John, and Rob. Gentlemen, how's it going?
Not bad.
Hey, Don, your internet's looking really good this week.
Yes. Apparently the gods are favoring me with one good week.
Oh, I thought something had happened and Don found out that he's actually been connected to a light socket or something instead of a...
You know, I remember years ago seeing the little boxes you're supposed to be able to plug into your wall outlets, and they would somehow extend your
Those work great now.
internet connection.
Those work fantastically well in 2015.
I bet.
In 2003, no. Those are like actually my little building outside where I do all of my exercise stuff. That's how I have internet out there. I have it done over the power line. Works great.
I thought you were being sarcastic.
No, seriously. In 2015, it works great and they're cheap. Yeah, seriously, works great.
Interesting.
Yeah. It doesn't. It's not quite as fast, but it's the same ping, so it's kind of weird. So, but 20 megabits per second is still fine for most anything.
Oh, screw you.
Sorry. Okay. So yeah, interesting show this week. I think quite a few things, and I seriously have something that I'm not trolling. So if you're looking at the YouTube video or you see the thumbnail, I'm totally serious about that. So we'll get to it later. Hey, so thank you to everyone out there who has left a review on iTunes. We really appreciate it. But those of you who haven't, and I'm pointing at you, please do. It doesn't cost a thing. You don't even have to go to tfradio.net/Amazon, and it helps people find RFC. Seriously. Like, I would really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. And from the bottom of Don's heart. And Don has a huge heart. Thank you very much.
Don, you should get that looked at.
Yeah, it's probably falling apart like the rest of me.
Hey, so I don't really talk about stuff like this every episode, or I rarely do, but it's everyone's first episode. So Radio Free Cybertron is the Transformers podcast. We're the very first one. We're one of the first podcasts ever, going back to 1999. We've been doing this for a while, and we're the official podcast of tformers.com. We're the official podcast of tformers.com, and sometimes we screw up. But it's fun. We love doing the show. And we are here as an outlet for news and stuff. And
Lots of news.
We have a whole network of shows, and the most popular show right now is the minicast. Everyone loves the minicast, John.
Yeah. In your face.
Yeah, in your
Internet.
face, RFC.
No, just the internet.
Just the internet. But yeah, so
And RFC.
and RFC.
And RMC.
And RFC. So I just want to get that spiel out there. So if this is your first episode, welcome. I'm sorry.
And go listen to some minicasts.
Yeah. Trying to book Mons for next week. See how that works.
Oh,
Nice.
neat.
Cool.
Is it? We'll find out.
Yes, pretty sweet. So yeah, hey, did anybody get anything cool this week? I finally got my Devastator from tfradio.net/Amazon. And yeah, he is big.
What else?
Oh, I've heard.
He's uncomfortably large.
That's not as bad as Metroplex.
But Metroplex is one solid thing.
And
And
it's supposed
yet,
to be the size of a city.
I find Devastator easier to handle.
Yeah, I could see that.
Well, he combines so well. I mean, as far as with all those extra locking tabs they have, he feels a lot sturdier than a lot of single piece figures I've held in similar sizes.
I guess my one problem with it, if you are going to display it, you need to display it as Devastator. Because I'm not super crazy about the individual components.
Well,
I like
again,
Scavenger.
He's so...
Scavenger is really nice.
And
Oh,
Bone
Scrap-
Crusher's nice too, but yeah, the rest of them are kind of
Not as nice, but
lacking.
yeah.
well, Scrapper's always been one of my favorites, just because it's a simple design, but it pulls it off well. Plus,
And when I get the Takara version, I may agree with you.
yeah, but the face sculpts I think is one of the resounding successes on the Hasbro version. Is now, why did you do that?
And for new listeners, Don is talking to his cat Massey, who will attack him randomly throughout the
man.
show.
Yes.
No, the face sculpts are done really nice, which is kind of a double-edged thing for Scavenger, since that's always been a really doofy-looking face design.
Yes.
If there was ever one place to defer to the toy version, that would have been it. But no. No, I think, yeah, the Takara versions are going to be good for individual display, but the Hasbro one's really good as being a Devastator.
Yeah, and I really appreciate it as Devastator. It's just he's so big. I would like that. I don't know. I know it makes no sense, but as the little itty bitty single pieces in G1, the color of the Constructicons makes sense. But this massively big, I would kind of like them to be a little more quote unquote grown up, and maybe just a slight bit darker.
Who are
Yeah,
you?
I know.
The green is a little bit pale.
What they need a just a little bit darker green paint wash.
Yes, that would make sense.
That would help a lot. My one complaint, which I have not voiced anywhere until now because it's really silly, I think they're too big because Leader Ultra Magnus cannot grab two of them and slap them together. Because all things in classics have to be measured against Carnage and C Minor. That's a rule now.
I have to say, Citizen Stack probably could.
Masterpiece probably could too. It's pretty big.
Maybe. I don't see where he's somewhere. But yeah, I like
You don't know where you put him?
No, I don't.
Gosh.
Remember that time Kilby lost Wave 1 of Combiner Wars for like 2 months?
I found him eventually.
I know you did. That's why I said you lost him for 2 months.
No, I just saw Magnus. Stack is bigger. I don't think Masterpiece Magnus is quite large enough to do that. But yeah, I like it, and I definitely recommend everyone buy it. TF
So
Radio
what-
net slash Devastator.
Yeah.
Devastator.
But
So basically, Masterpiece Ultra Magnus, he can't handle Devastator.
Yeah, he can't deal with that now.
You mean he can't deal with Devastator right now? Is that what you were trying to say, Don?
I was busy having a kitty cat attack.
Don can't deal
Good,
with
pick
that.
him up. We'll attack some more.
Yes.
That's good.
get him on camera.
Yeah, at least get it on video. Oh, he looks upset.
Hey, Don, take off your headset and put it on Massey real quick.
God.
Yeah, we need that
This can't
screenshot.
end well.
You're trying to get Don killed.
Hey there, Massey. You're a good boy. You're a good boy.
That's a mistake.
I expected
Yep.
as much.
I mean, that was less.
Well, I thought maybe him hearing the voices might make him like,
Might-
you know.
Might
Don, he
calm him
already
down.
hears voices. That's the problem.
Oh, that was awesome.
Also, Don, he's a cat. His hearing's a lot better. He can hear us through the headset while you're wearing it.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty neat.
No, I just assumed the whole point of putting the headset on Massey was just to antagonize him further and provoke
Oh, it probably was.
provoke an attack.
That's
Yeah.
To be fair, that was a lot less violent than I was expecting the reaction to be.
Yeah, there were no claws or anything.
No, he just took off.
So, anybody else get anything besides Devastator? Matt, you got Devastator.
Yeah, I got my Devastator from
How do you like it?
tfradio.net/Amazon. I love Devastator. The individual Constructicons leave a little bit to be desired.
How do you feel about Mixmaster, Matt?
So I also got from tfradio.net/Amazon Transformers Adventure Roadblock.
So when I was so my roadblock, which I got a couple weeks ago in the mail, same source, was setting out just on my desk, and which is where I had the individual Constructicons at. So I kept reaching for him when I was trying to combine them, and I'm like, oh wait, no, wrong. And I did it like 3 or 4 times, even though it's not the same color, but it just kept confusing me.
And I also got my subscription service, Serpento R.
How much did you pay for it?
I
Well,
bought
he
the
had
subscription.
so-
Oh,
yeah.
I thought you didn't. I thought you
Paid a
didn't.
lot.
I thought you specifically didn't do the subscription because
No,
of
this is
FunPub.
the first one I have done.
Oh, okay.
And
So, Matt-
he's pretty great. So I went and bought a bunch more Vipers today to give him some minions.
I'm so
from
jealous.
tfradio.net/Amazon.
Well, now, Matt, how did that yellow turn out in person versus the gold that
It's pretty waxy. I'm
Yes.
not happy with that. I like the green though.
Yeah.
So
It-
if you can get past the waxy yellow, I love this mold anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably the best example I've ever had of a toys paint job changing so radically to make me go from yes, must get to maybe not.
I'm sure we could dig and find other examples, but yeah, this is a good one.
Yeah.
So, John, you got Serpentor also. So, what do you think about that?
First, as usual.
Yes, you got it first, and
Yeah.
that was acknowledged.
In your face, internet.
Yeah.
Again.
Because Brian Savage just threw it off on his way home. He
Yeah.
just threw you the box.
Yes.
Toy
Like
drive-by.
like a bag of puppies. He just threw
This-
it out of his truck.
Does he drop off White Castle at the same time, or?
That does
Wow.
not
No,
exist
that was Pete.
here.
That
Why
was
would you
Pete,
even-
not Brian Savage.
Why
No,
would you even want White Castle anywhere in the vicinity of you anyway? It's
screw you, Don. So no, but Brian Savage does drop off personalized Oklahoma jokes. So, yeah,
All right.
Good times.
yeah, that was fun.
2012 was just full of such memories.
Yeah. So, what do you think, John? You like it?
I like that mold. I mean, I like Ratbat 1,000 times more, but
Yeah.
I don't mind it. I mean, the thing is, like, if they were going to do that metallic gold, obviously the only way you can do it is paint. So that was really never going to happen. But I like him. Whatever. I like the Scourge mold as a base, and I like that alternate head quite a bit. And he's surprisingly Serpentor E. So no complaints.
I don't have anything yet, Brian, but Friday I will be getting through the TF Radio.
Yeah,
Amazon.
we've plugged enough right now. Yeah. What are you getting, Don?
Okay, I'm getting a book, a book I've been looking forward to. I'm also getting the Robots in Disguise G1 Grimlock recolor. That's available on the site, and I picked up an $8 Tankor because I wasn't gonna pay full price for Generations Tankor.
Yeah.
So
Oh, wow.
But it's But Generations Tankor is not bad at all.
It's okay.
It's
Tankor.
It's that it's base machines versus the actual.
Oh, Don.
Oh, that Tankor.
Yeah, that Tankor. Yeah.
Oh, Don. Okay.
So yeah, but I mean, $8. I don't have it. So
Don, when TFYLP happens Friday, you can talk about that book.
I won't be on it Friday.
Oh, I was being
So, the book you were looking forward to, Don, that home course on animal husbandry you've been talking about for a while.
No, it's book 8 of the Kate Daniels series from Alona Andrews. It's an urban fantasy series, awesome series.
Oh, I thought it was a Transformers related book.
No, that's why I didn't go into detail about the title. But yeah, that's
Man, we've
I
stepped
think my
into
answer
the
was
lower
better.
rung of nerdery.
well, it's a good series. So
Hey, real quick
Meanwhile,
on Serpentor,
Yes.
I demand a third party make a cape and like an air chariot. Even though he turns into like a flying vehicle, I don't care. He needs an air chariot.
Oh, there's probably another Transformer you can repurpose to be an air chariot.
You could just
For
get
him.
another Serpento R and
Yeah.
Like he can ride it like the
plane
Green
mode.
Goblin. I don't know.
But no, I mean, just like get a sweep and do that.
Yeah, sweeps
Or
are good
better
for, like,
idea, get 2 more Vipers and strap them to the feet. And instead of an air chariot, he has air skates.
Nice.
Very nice.
So I've been doing a little bit of catch up. I did not do this through tfradio.net/Amazon. I just went to a damn Target and got Legends Skywarp
Neat.
and Rodimus.
You like Rodimus?
It's pretty nice. The mold feels better as Blackjack, but I appreciate just having another example of it in bright colors.
So
Especially since Runabout's going to be primarily dark also when that comes out.
I forgot about Runabout. Yeah.
So I'm guessing
the
your
G2 is
target.
going to be purple.
Yeah. So I'm guessing your target has done the resets, or did it just sneak out? early?
I think it was in the process of it because I also got non-Transformers related. I got 2 of these Assassin's Creed Mega Bloks minifigure packs for $5 on clearance.
So it said as is. Did you ever find out what that meant?
Oh no, these ones aren't as is. These ones actually do just say clearance, and
Oh,
they were
okay.
half the price of the as is ones. So
Gotcha.
figure that out yourself.
Okay.
No, like the Target I found these Legends at did not have any deluxes out at all. So like there was just a solid case of the Legends on the pegs and kind of falling off onto the shelf. So I was able to get these 2. But like if they were doing the reset, they were like right in the early stages of it.
Has anyone heard if there's a Blackjack remix, a wave with Blackjack being back in the mix assortment? Because I know a lot of people still need that figure, and it was not common anywhere around here.
The problem with the Generations Legends assortment right now is that Decepticon characters do not run more than 1 wave.
So I saw a ton of them during Jolanta, at the very least, down in Atlanta.
Which would have been timed for it. I mean,
Yeah.
And Viper was the one that was short packed in those cases too. There were 2 of Blackjacks to every Viper.
Was Viper and Blackjack in the same wave?
no,
was
Black
Power
it was the
Glide.
wave before that. Yeah,
Or two Warpaths to
Blackjack
every
was
Viper.
Warpath. Okay.
yeah.
Who
That's
cares?
right.
Yeah, but yes.
Well, nobody cared about Warpath,
I know.
but there were 2 of them to every Viper.
And it's weird. I've only seen one Warpath in the wild, and between here and
I've only seen a couple.
yeah, but I'm trying to find a Blackjack for a friend, and I have not seen one since I purchased mine.
Like
2.5
probably your
months ago.
only hope for that is just like hit Toys R Us and hope.
Yeah. Hey, so this week in history, Don, I'm going to need your help. So this week in history in 1995 was BotCon 95, the second BotCon, and you were there.
Yep, it was run by Raksha, who was well known in the Transformer. She was
Who
well
was
known.
well known in the
Yeah,
Transformers fandom.
she stepped away for the most part, but she is still very popular.
Because she's smart.
But and that was the year that we got Night Racer, which was the first official female Transformer as far as toy produced, which was a recolor of one of the GoBots.
Bumblebee.
Well, okay, I couldn't remember which one it was a recolor of.
Yeah.
So, and that was it was a fun convention. I remember having a lot of fun at 95. I don't remember any specifics, but
It can only be surpassed by BotCon 96.
oh, go to hell.
Oh, God. So,
When do we do the This Week in History on BotCon 96?
Next
Never.
week? Next week?
Never.
Probably. I'll tell
Never.
you. I'll just check the TF Wiki right now.
I won't
yeah.
mention who organized 1996 if they're still in
They
existence.
probably don't.
But I really hope they never do a convention again.
I don't think they're in the position to do another convention.
Yeah. But I mean, cake on napkins with no.
Don, don't spoil it. Wait till we actually do the segment.
Okay, all right. Okay.
We'll have to do a special on it.
No, we don't.
Let's do it.
Hey.
We should do a mini cast on it.
Hey, no, because I'm serious. I will have flashbacks. I will get angry. I will say things that I'll regret.
Yeah. I mean, there could be just like a whole.
That's what people want to
mini-cast-
hear.
There could be like a whole series of mini-cast episodes, just Don's recollections of BotCon year by year.
Yeah, I would want to get somebody else with him.
Okay,
Who's actually at the
We should
bot-
record those soon, though,
Not
because
me.
Don's getting up there and his memory might be fading.
Well,
so.
I've said this before. To be honest, a lot of the bot cons are running together as far as specific conventions with specific
That's why you
things.
refer to notes. I mean, so
Yeah.
Hey, Don, let's do a series where it's just mini casts, carefully analyzing and reviewing each BotCon collector's plate. How about that?
You-
Collectors.
That's like the
Plates, man.
NPR of Transformers podcast.
but like,
No.
Let's talk about plates.
but like,
You know what I went through on them plates, John. I've told you that story. I
Botcon
tell it
don't have
again
the
for the
plates.
people.
I don't have
96
Yeah,
Not
we
right
don't-
now.
was in July.
I've only got one plate. It's one of the best plates, but I've only got one plate. It's the Robots in Disguise, Optimus, and Megatron from RID 1.
Yeah, so BotCon 96 was in July. So
Okay, make a note for next year.
yeah,
You're determined to make me just have an aneurysm on camera, aren't you?
yep.
Yes.
Okay,
If the cat won't cooperate, I mean, we gotta go with Plan Blee. Plan Blee.
Plan Bleed. So it's that you're suffering
like
from what I'm
French.
suffering from. Hey, so also this week in history in 2003, first Micron booster series is released in Japan at stores participating in the TF Station affiliate program. I remember this being kind of a big deal because new minicons, and minicons were the thing.
I saw minicons at my Walmart and I passed on them. Those RID Rapat and whatever else
I
is in
haven't
that
seen those
wave.
yet. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw them for the first
Uh,
time and I was like, oh, yeah, I don't need
Yeah.
these.
I'm going to be honest, and if the only mini-con that I'm in recent memory that I would have liked to have seen is if they had made Ambus, what's his name, a
Ambus.
mini-con.
Animus.
Yeah, if they had made him a mini-con with a mini-con port on Magnus just for storage, it would make sense.
That
But
would
I-
be good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
But you need storage for that.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. That I would have liked to have seen that as a mini-con, but in general, no more mini-cons, please.
I mean, okay, so like the Robots in Disguise ones are a different breed of
Oh,
thing.
yeah. I mean,
I don't think you're completely alone, Don, in just being like, let's have minicons be part of the past.
So at one point, I tired of minicons. At one point, I tired of spy changers. I am getting close to tiring of combiners. Yes, I said it. So I never quite tired though of speaking of combiners, of power core combiners. Never got
Those
tired of
things have been
those.
around long enough.
Yeah, never got tired of
Let's
those.
see, if
No
we
one
get
else
some
got
new,
tired
if we
of
get
them
some
either,
new
'cause no one
molds in
bought 'em.
Combiner Wars, you won't be tired of
That's
it.
exactly right.
Exactly.
Mhm.
I have hopes for the back half of 2016. The first half of 2016 is not looking too hot. Besides Skylink, of course.
Yeah, and the shame is because Devastator is much larger than the other Combiner Wars. He can never be repurposed for any of the other combiners. So
Well, the other shame is it's so much bigger. It doesn't feel like it's part of Combiner Wars.
true.
So
true.
like it doesn't do anything to pave over the old reruns.
Hey, so
Is that really a shame or is that a good thing that we won't get Devastator as another combiner?
So if Devastator were smaller, it would be way easier to repaint him into all the colors that he needs to be repainted into.
Like
Yes.
I would not have a problem if Devastator was a smaller toy. I would not have a problem with it being rerun as a G1ified updated rid landfill.
Yeah,
Shut
I'd
up,
take
Don.
it. I'd take it. Even though wouldn't necessarily make sense, he would
It
have to have
would
some.
no, it would not make sense, and that's why I put the qualifiers to it. Because like it wouldn't be an exact analog, but it's a thing they could do with it. It's in various colors. You know, it would not just be another Devastator. as such.
I would want the Diaclone color.
Yeah.
You would still have 2 green scavengers, though.
Yeah. Hey. Okay. So
Different color though.
So we're talking
Different
about
shade.
repainted Combiner War stuff. So let's jump to the news. Wave 4, the mostly monochrome Optimus Maximus. We now know what he looks like, all transformed and opened up. He's boring.
Yeah.
Okay, like this. Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, well, I put mostly monochrome for one because they picked the, 4 whitest transformers they could find to be the limbs, with the exception of
Air raid.
Air Raid over there. But yeah, there had been some speculation for a while that the inner torso had been modified in some way, but it does not seem to be the case now.
Now, are we sure the folks behind Man of Steel didn't go in and remove all the colors before this picture was published?
No, that's far too bright.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's not dull looking. It's just
Boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it were all that kind of drab gray as the thighs, then yes, that would be them.
Yeah, I would agree.
And it's not
Yeah,
right.
it's like they went out of their way to make sure there was no color on that thing because they even put the white third-party hands and feet on it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I just
Yeah,
wanna
the person that put this together wanted the whitest possible combiner.
Yeah, so I think Man of Steel came up in conversation last week, and I didn't mention. Rob and I saw that in the theater together.
Yes, we did.
It was pretty
I'm
awesome.
sorry. Now, just imagine this
Wow.
this Optimus, and then put Rodimus right in the middle of that. It's almost like he's doing like a super robot chest attack with his chest glowing or something, because that's going to just stand out like.
I get what you're saying there. I can
Yeah.
see that. Yeah.
It'll definitely add some much needed color to this because
But is it too much of the wrong color? Just as far as it's too much. I mean, you got just red in a sea of white and black.
well, I don't know.
We'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll have to
Yeah.
see. Yep. I'm not gonna pick him up because I'm just gonna say I've got Optimus from the first wave, and he's gonna be my Masquerade Minosaur as best as I can assemble.
So I've seen somebody working on upgrade parts to make basically turn this mold into a Thunderclash. And
Okay, that
depending
could
where that goes with that, I might get interested in Battlecore Optimus.
We need a Thunder Clash.
we do.
Or if someone makes a decent like Nova Prime upgrade kit to work with this, that would also be an option.
I would
Okay,
rather have a Thunder
yeah.
Clash.
Yeah.
Well,
Agreed.
yes.
Thunder
I'm just-
Clash
I'm
is
just-
almost only the greatest Transformer in the history of Transformers.
Yes.
Almost.
Oh, no, I said only.
They
Oh,
had
okay, I
to
thought you said
surgically
only
remove the
also.
Matrix from his chest.
Yes.
It just didn't want to leave.
No. God, Thunder Clash is awesome. Okay. So, so moving along. TFCon Charlotte 2015. Greg Berger will attend.
Yeah.
Yay! I'm trying
That's
to think.
awesome.
I'm trying to think of the last time I saw Greg Berger at BotCon. Was that 2012? Or man,
It's not been too far back. I can't remember for sure.
maybe I'm thinking about Greg Berger. When they finally showed Grimlock from War for Cybertron, or Fall of Cybertron, whichever one it was at the point.
That was 2012.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The sad thing is, with there's no Grimlock on the shelf right now that you can go get to take for him to autograph, because all the Grimlocks we have, he didn't do any of the voices for. So that's kind of a.
What do you know?
There's like 8 versions of the Masterpiece Grimlock out there, though, you can go buy
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
for
but I mean,
ridiculous
just-
amounts of money.
I know. I just mean something like if you want to get an autograph on his autograph on something on a character he did, there's nothing readily cheap available on shelves right now.
Not on
that's-
shelves, no, but since you're going to be at a Transformers convention, you shouldn't have too much trouble finding a Fall of Cybertron Grimlock for not too much.
Yeah. Well, the problem is
kidding.
a lot of the times though the dealers, if the voice actor is there, their toys are usually priced higher that show because of that reason.
Oh, of course. I should
Because
have thought of that.
when Mike McConaughey was there with me, and all the G1 Cosmoses were like $20 to $25 at that point for a loose G1 Cosmos. So I finally found the G1 collector's card for $1.
You could find.
Don, I got an idea. I see here that he was also the voice Skyfire, so you can take your Kronos and have him sign that, and however much it costs to get his autograph, it'll instantly increase the value of that figure by that much.
That's
so
better
it'll
than my
go
suggestion.
from 0 to about.
You keep bashing my Chronos. When we get a little further down the list, we'll talk.
Yeah. So you can get Lockdown, because he was locked down in Rise of the Darkspark. I'm certain you can still find that on the shelf at Toys R Us. Yeah. Okay. But, yeah, he'll be at TFCon Charlotte.
Now we need David K to sign on for TFCon Charlotte, and they can have a Grimlock off.
And also,
Kari
Brian,
Payton.
you put into the last show, Matt and I interviewed Colin from TFCon about TFCon Charlotte, and that went into last week's recording, right?
Yeah.
And possibly the end of this week's recording?
I don't know what you mean.
Maybe not.
No. So, yeah, nothing this week. So, let's see here what else we have. So, MP11 Starscream, the U.S. release was up for pre-order.
For like what, 5 minutes?
Yeah, but it's only
Sold out overnight.
it's only $60.
And it was like
Oh, that
five.
won't last.
Which is why it sold out really insanely quickly.
And you know what's going to happen? Everybody who got a pre-order in is going to find that they've been canceled when the price gets raised $20.
Yep.
Yeah. And also the fact, wasn't it a limit of 5 per person?
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even hear about it till after it was already.
Neither did I.
Done with. Yeah, but it's like that 5 per person. You know, some of those are going to be going elsewhere. Is it?
So what I'm thinking is similar to when Grimlock got re-released in the Masterpiece series. They used the old price from when it was originally released, and that's why. But I think people did get Grimlock at that price, so there is a possibility that people will get their Starscreams at $59.99. But by the time it gets to the store, it's probably going to be up to $80.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If the $59.99 price holds up, that pretty much gives us all but proof that Masterpiece, Prowl, and Blue Streak are the price they are because of the licensing fees, which we suspected anyway.
Yeah.
You know, if I see one in stores, I have the first Starscream from Walmart. Granted, it's the old mold. You know, so it'll be if I have a coupon or a coupon code or something if I pick that up.
The good news is the Starscream probably will not be in as much demand as that Walmart release was because there's been correct colored Masterpiece Starscreams available before. That's why that Walmart one was such a hot ticket because the Japanese version was the realistic colors, not the accurate colors.
And I never got the that or the Takara re-release, the USA edition, as it was called. So I really want this. And of course, this is the better mold, so I'm glad I didn't get the other. Hey, so last week's episode, or this weekend's episode, past weekend's episode of Being Awesome with Rob Springer, Rob is like all about TFCon Charlotte. I think he wants to marry it. If Kristen says no, whenever he finally does that, if Kristen says no, he'll go to TFCon Charlotte and ask for its hand in marriage. Rob is all about it, and I understand it's exciting, but so Rob had big news.
Well, they started to finally. They made a statement they're gonna actually allow accounts to be independent of Google Plus. Like you can actually have a YouTube account without Google Plus now.
And
As
this
opposed
is
to
the
what they were
trade-off.
doing. What's that?
No, the right word
This
is
is the
revenge.
trade-off.
No, trust me, the right word there is revenge.
Okay. So I'm gonna just
Edit.
Yeah, this will have to be edit. It's fine.
No kidding.
Yeah. Okay. I wonder how this
I'd actually like to see you do this without an edit.
go back 2 weeks or 3 weeks, whenever it was, and yeah, it was fine for a while. Had a great run going. Okay, so let's we're back. People, chat, can you see us? Hopefully this can you see us? I bet that's the problem. I need to check the
Are you
forums.
sick to your stomach yet?
Okay, we'll do it. Okay, I'm going to start back with the stuff about TFCon. So, 3, 2, 1 ish. So yeah,
Just
so
audio.
yeah, so as I was saying, Rob teased for several weeks on being awesome about some big news at TFCon, and so it turns out that TFCon Charlotte, if it has fantastic attendance, quote unquote, will continue in 2016 alongside TFCon Chicago. That is what fantastic attendance mean is entirely TBD, and it's not defined. So hopefully it will have fantastic attendance, because I would love to have a convention to go to every year.
Yeah, that means support the show.
Yeah.
Well, most of us are going to be there, so that's pretty fantastic attendance.
Yeah, but it's
That's true. I love that.
I think it needs a few more people than just us.
Well, that's why we're telling people go.
Well, it depends on your definition of
Yeah.
fantastic.
We
I
don't
mean, we're
get
pretty
we don't get a lot
fantastic.
of shows,
Well,
Transformers
some of us are
conventions
fairly
on the East
fantastic.
Coast. We
Yeah,
don't
so-
get a lot of conventions on the East Coast. So if you want to keep getting conventions on the East Coast, support them.
But like, because I'm completely independent of all this, I will say the thing that bugs me about this is it says, quote, fantastic attendance, completely undefined, and it's kind of like in a comic. So I forgot what it was. It was in Century, that first run of Century, before when he was. You guys, did anybody else read Century, the Marvel
No.
comic? Okay.
No.
So he was this godlike, super powerful human that ended up getting all these, fantastic powers, and he had disappeared for years, and he came back. So, in the course of the climax of his battle, it said like a third of all the villains in the Marvel Universe died in the battle, blah, blah, blah. But it didn't mention any of them by name, so effectively it was none of them. So if without any kind of strict definition of what something is, I'm certain they don't know that yet, or they're not. Dave and Colin are certainly not required to tell us what that number is or that threshold is. But I just can't get too excited about it without some idea of what fantastic attendance means.
It's a
My
little
guess. My guess is there's an abstract notion of what they want, and that is to have what happened in Chicago last fall happen in Charlotte this year, where the attendance just completely blows out what they expect to get.
And that that did happen in Charlotte before for Sharticon, so there's a shot.
Well, Sharticon did really well as far as the attendance, but not well enough to actually guarantee a second Sharticon.
But
so.
Sharticon had no name recognition behind it. TFCon does. People know what to expect. They like to support TFCon. I think it will do much better.
So yeah, and but the whole thing is they're trying to associate TFCon to Sharticon. And Sharticon now, I think, has quite a bit more cachet because there are people like us who talk about how fantastic it was, and it was. Mm-hmm. But if TFCon has a lot of name recognition, sure, but not as much in the U.S. I think Sharticon, at least in the Southeast, probably has more name recognition, honestly. So
TFCon in the U.S. is making its name just with what it did in Chicago, which has gone over really well with everybody who went. It has the same kind of thing as Sharticon, where people are talking it up really big. Combining that with the stories of Sharticon, I think the Charlotte show has a good chance to do what they want it to.
Yeah, I hope so. And I love Sharticon so much, and it was basically a fantastic convention ran by people who do not organize conventions, and it was like 1,000,000 to 1 shot of it actually being any good, and it really was.
Yeah.
And I don't know. TFCon Chicago was great. Wasn't Sharticon. It might have been technically ran better and all of that, but it didn't feel the same. It didn't feel as guerrilla as as Sharticon did. Sharticon really felt like a movement, where TFCon it feels like a really, really well ran convention. So I don't know. It's until TFCon Charlotte happens, I still am gonna be mildly skeptical, but I am really looking forward to it. I mean, I seriously am. I'm looking forward to seeing people hanging out and stuff like that, and that's why I go to any convention.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
yeah,
speaking of conventions, the next New Jersey Comic Con, there was one this weekend that I attended, and the next one is November 8th. It's a Sunday, and I will be there and I will have a table.
oh wait,
So
it's
if
like
you're...
it's in a couple weeks.
November.
November. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said I thought you said in a couple weeks. Yeah, neat.
So if you're in the New Jersey area, definitely come check out NJCC on November 8th.
Very cool.
Buy some of my stuff.
Now, what day was that,
Could you please
Diecast?
buy my product?
You know, Sunday, you said?
Sunday.
Sunday.
It's just one day.
It's just one day.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Okay. Hey, so did anybody else not buy those G.I. Joe crossover club exclusive figures like I did?
I want to, but I wish the old Snake was in with the Magnus and RC that we're getting next year as an only human set, and the bats were like a pack of 3 troop builders, because to me that makes a little more sense. But you know, it's just I want all the human figures for obvious reasons. It's just I really don't want the stuff they're with.
Don, I can guarantee you, if you get that set of old Snake and the bats, someone will buy those bats off you because they want to troop build and they don't want to have an army of old snakes.
The thing about the old Snake figure, it's not so dissimilar from other Cobra Commander figures that I feel like you have to have it. That Marissa Fairborn figure, on the other hand, is pretty awesome, but the afterburner that it comes with...
Afterbreaker.
Afterbreaker that it comes with is... I mean, I can't help but just see it being that pack-in figure from Rise of Revenge, whatever the heck the second movie was.
Yeah, it's
Retaliation.
Yeah, I just really wish the humans were together in a set. I mean, I see. I know what you're saying there, Chris, and I agree. It's just assortments are not what I would prefer.
Now, if they could get Old Snake with a Miko, I would love that.
I didn't say that.
Old Snake has nothing to do with Miko.
I'm saying, like I said, I've always wanted to see Joe bodies used for the humans from Transformers through the ages. You know, I would like to see a 5-pack of like only human, the 4 humans and Old Snake.
Yeah,
okay. You know, but that, you know, that's not what I'm getting. But
I have to say, at this point, I would probably just buy a third party, like if somebody, Dr. Wu or somebody did that.
Yeah.
What I want is figures scaled to ride in Ultra Magnus.
Yeah.
Which the Mega Bloks figures fit, right?
Basically, yeah.
You could paint one of those up as a little almost human Ultra Magnus and stick him in there.
As far as I have not found a Mega Bloks figure that looks like it's dressed in overalls. So you'd either have to be really creative with the paint to make that work, or just kind of accept that it's not quite there.
I would love to have some conveniently colored overalls. That would be great. So yeah. Hey, so if you're watching live, you've seen some technical difficulties. You know what would help? Go to tfradio.net/Amazon and
that's a lie. That won't help at all, but do it anyway.
And buy the stuff you're already going to buy. You can buy toilet paper. Our friend Anthony from tfu.info sent us a lot of great things that you could buy.
Okay. Great is not the word I would use.
The one.
But you're not running the show, Don.
The one that I'm going to cite that the other one it's a little too personal. A portable toilet that you wear. Yes.
The other one's called the Wiener Cleaner. Use your imagination.
Follow TFU_info on Twitter for more wonderful suggestions on items that you can get from tfradio.net/Amazon. My recommendation right now is Devastator. tfradio.net/Devastator, still available. And also, Viper just showed up. So if you want a troop build Viper, totally worth it.
And they're
Also
cheaper than Toys R Us.
Yes.
Yeah, it's worth pointing out the Devastators are now cheaper than Toys R Us, and you get free shipping automatically because it's over $35.
About $20 cheaper than Toys R Us last I checked.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because unless they've gone up again, they've jumped $20 in the past 3 weeks.
Yeah. So, great.
With free shipping.
So if you've held off, just go ahead and get it. tfradio.net/Devastator.
And if you buy
we're
4 Vipers, they're free shipping also.
We're
Yes.
selling a
And then
lot
you
of
have 4
stuff.
Vipers.
And it'll help keep the show from crashing, hopefully.
And the
No, it
best
won't,
thing
but do it anyway.
and the best thing about having an army of Vipers means you'll have really clean windows.
Done.
Don, when you made that joke via email last night, I'm like, I just shook my head.
Well, no one replied, so
I was too busy shaking my head.
Don,
okay.
you have paladined that joke.
I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I
he
read it
paladined
this
the
morning.
joke in
And
He paladined the joke in the first place because it wasn't actually funny the first time he told it. And then he kept telling it, so that compounds.
No, that's the
paladin.
second. That's the second time I've mentioned it, including the first email last night.
No, it's not done.
Yes,
No,
it is.
Yeah.
You've
I'm pretty sure. Hey,
No,
so
it's really
hey,
not.
how about that Pandinus or whatever its name is?
I love it.
So we have a shot of third-party test shots and prototypes from Fans Project, Make Toys and More, from the Facebook page Ages 3 and Up. And Pandinus, which we saw the test shot of in person, is freaking huge. And here's a photo of it.
It is so big. I really like the design and want one. I don't know what I would ever do with it.
There is so much plastic in that thing.
I wish it would have been in a more stable state where they could have let us pick it up. Because I cannot imagine that has to be super heavy.
Well, Utopia is no slouch. I mean, Utopia's got a lot of weight to him.
I know, but they had dystopias there and a utopia on display, I think, and Pandinus looked a lot more massive.
I
Yeah,
agree.
not height wise, but mass wise. Panda
Right.
blew Utopia out of the water.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
just
Is that the first time we've seen the Fans Project Grimlock? Is that what that is? That looks pretty good.
That- Chibi Grimlock?
No,
that was,
not the
um,
Chibi.
Is that the
They're,
Exo realm?
Yeah,
Oh.
that was at TFCon in Toronto.
The Lost Exo Realm?
That looks pretty good.
Oh, yeah, it was. Because isn't that... No, we were disappointed by the swoop. Not the swoop, by the female one.
Right.
The one with boobs. It's just not
Yeah.
good.
well,
That is such a great description.
Wait,
well, it's possible that figure's still early in the life cycle. So I mean, there could be
No,
some
I
more
don't-
tweaks.
no.
Because they got the CG render of that too, and it looks just the same. It's not a matter of bad prototype. It's just the way it's designed.
So,
It's
And
not a matter of
I'll
bad
tell you-
prototype, it's a matter of bad taste.
And I'll tell you the thing about the Slash that really makes me mad is I believe that's Lost Exo Realm 5, which means we have to go through that one to get to Snarl.
Yeah,
so
that's coming.
is this the MMC... MMC, or was it MMC or Make Toys? I can't remember. I lose track. Hardhead.
It's
That should
Make
make
Toys.
toys.
That should
Make
make
Toys.
toys,
So
yeah.
this is the third time we've had a third-party Headmaster Hardhead.
Yeah, the first,
We've seen
Fourth.
design renders for a Fans Project one.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's so there's Hardbone. What it was Hardbone?
Yeah,
Hardbone's
There's
the first
Hardbone.
one.
There's the Head Robots upgrade kit, which I guess kind of counts. There's this, and then there's what Fans Project is doing.
Yeah. So yeah, it's crazy.
I do like the looks of that hard head, but I'm sticking with the Function X line because we've seen the pictures for Croc. Is it Croc?
Crocs.
Yeah, Crocs.
Yes.
Crocs. Yeah.
The Function X line is too small. The Make Toys is too large.
That's because the Make Toys are trying to be, masterpiece
They're
scale.
so way out of scale for Masterpiece. It's ridiculous.
I don't think they're that out of scale.
Cupola was like the size of Ultraman.
So you have Cupola?
Yeah.
Diecast? Did you get it?
I ordered it, didn't ship yet.
So
It will.
Cupola is the size of Ultra Magnus, which is, i.e., way too large for that toy.
I thought it was the size of Prime.
No, he's taller than.
He's bigger than Prime.
Yeah. He's taller than MP10.
Which is still too big.
Yeah. Now, for the people that's been looking at these pictures, the visualizers.
Oh yeah.
They are out now at several online stores. I am very tempted by them, but I want to pick up Carrie first. But I really like the way they turned out.
Yeah, I really want Carrie. Yeah.
Yeah, those are nice looking reflectors.
Yeah, so that's, it's just that carry is a little more important to me than the reflectors. But there's several reviews online by now for the visualizers, and I'm kind of a spoiler thing, but it's interesting that the lens on the camera mode, each robot has a part of the lens inside, so that helps connect the figures together, other than just the slots on the side.
Interesting.
The
And,
only
you're not
thing
taking
that-
those parts off to make the lens either. They all stay attached to
Yeah, there's
the
no.
figure they're part
Oh
of.
god, I hope
There's
it's
no-
not complicated.
Oh no, it's just folds out and overlays each other in 3 layers.
So-
But there's no parts forming.
So Don said that carry is more important. So since I live in a world that has Cloud Rodimus, it's certainly not more important to me than the visualizer. So
Well, to me, Carrie is a better representation of Rodimus than Cloud Rodimus.
Carrie is a really good-looking Rodimus figure. I don't know that I need to have it because the Cloud one's quite nice.
The
And I
only
already
thing
have
that's stopping me on these Make Toys visualizers is the fans toys that are going to be coming out.
yeah,
I just like
have
the
you-
feel of fans toys stuff.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Well, Diecast, have you got a link for that? Because I don't remember seeing those.
I mean, you can just Google it.
yeah.
Okay, I thought you might have one handy.
No, I'm sorry, I don't. But I mean, fans toys. I think the engineering is probably better on the Make Toys
People
stuff.
listening to the podcast, Don was just attacked by his cat.
No, I thought he wanted a belly rub because he was laying upside down with his belly
It's a
up.
trap, Don.
It's a trap. Yes.
Don't you know cats?
Yeah. So okay, Don, let me just get this out there, and this is all you.
Okay.
Mechaform Sky Guardian is the first figure from a
Oh,
newly admitted third-party company.
Mhm.
It's a new homage to Skyfire / Jetfire.
Yeah.
Pre-orders are up for only $169.
Does this?
Oh, take my money right now. Here you go.
Does anybody like this?
Rob Springer said it best. It looks like one of those quick change figures from Big Lots.
It is derpy. It is
Okay.
derpy. I'll give them credit though, because we saw this figure first like over a year ago, and I was like, yeah, that'll never get made. But apparently, it's actually closer to getting made, which is further than I thought it would ever get. But who would spend $170 on this?
The jet mode's not bad.
It's not good, Don.
It's not good, but I'm saying it's not bad. But again, based on these early pictures, it does not look as good as Kronos does in robot mode. The robot mode here, to me, without comparing, having seen side by side pics, it does not invoke Skyfire as much as Kronos does.
And let's just make this clear. He's saying that something looks worse than Kronos.
Yeah,
Well,
And
hey,
so far, I kind of think
Let
he's
that
right.
sink in.
it does. He's right, though. Yeah, like Rob said.
I mean,
So
I said this on Twitter. For all of Kronos' technical faults in robot mode, that is the Skyfire robot I have always wanted for my collection. Visually, he's almost perfect to me for a Skyfire sitting on the shelf looking cool.
So, Diecast, I forget. Other than the way it looks, what was your problem with Kronos? Did it break?
It's garbage quality, and some of the detailing, like the lines in his legs, don't go anywhere or connect all the way through like they should. It looks good. It's a nice sculpt. I like the head. I get Don's point. It looks good in robot mode, but it doesn't do enough for me to justify this being
expense.
in my collection.
How much
no matter
was it?
how
200
good
bucks?
No,
it was like
it
50.
yeah, because we were all kind of looking forward to that based on the earlier shots, but then the creator, the company, the creator, there were issues, some factory issues. It's a whole ball of wax that doesn't need to be repeated right now. But I hope this gentleman that designed Kronos can get with a decent factory and maybe work with another third party, because I think that figure at the core has a merit of being retweet and re-released as an even better Skyfire.
I hope
I-
we never see that designer again.
So, Rob, you
Kronos' transformation was pretty disappointing too, if I recall.
Yeah.
it was, but
It's a bad transformation. The designer is not a decent guy, and
He's a terrible human being. He kicks puppies.
yeah.
No, he's
But
Is Cobra
sorry.
Commander?
I know a lot of people that hope to never see him again.
And if you're a fan of the show and you designed Kronos, we don't really mean it. We're just entertainers.
So, Rob, you had an interesting observation on Twitter this morning about
That's not true.
Skyfire versus Jetfire.
Yeah, the thing is that, for copyright reasons, Skyfire had to be as different from Jetfire as he could possibly be. And Jetfire, unfortunately, is sleek, dynamic, and interesting.
Yeah.
Now, like, on the flip side of that, I kind of appreciate the Skyfire design for basically being a Transformers core booster.
Yes.
And if somebody could actually do that as a toy correctly, I'd be really interested in that.
Yeah, that is.
And
that
I'm
is
still
true.
waiting.
Yeah. In terms of robot mode looks, Leader Class Jetfire is as close to the Skyfire model as I ever need to get personally.
So the thing that Skyfire has over Jetfire is that he's a scientist. That makes him better.
My instant comment on Twitter about this at Diecast2 was, I wonder how long this will take to go clearance.
Yeah.
I'm guessing pretty quick.
It's pretty rough looking. You know what? The thing is, if this is the designer's first go, I mean, they can get better. A lot of these guys, after 2 or 3, get really good.
Mm-hmm.
So, not to discourage the person who's out there, because I mean, they very well could be listening to the show. We're not beating up on you, but we're not really crazy about this. So, hopefully, you learn something from what you're putting together.
Yeah, and
To anybody
this is a
out
hard
there-
figure to put out there right now, knowing Fans Toys is working on a Skyfire.
To anybody out there who's looking to get into the third-party releases, I suggest not starting with a $160 release.
That's a good point. So, like,
Yeah.
I know there are people out there who develop third-party stuff that listen more than one, and I'm sometimes kind of tough on people, but really, it's $160 for something like this.
Well, I've got an example. I've used this example before, but like you said, this is someone's first show all the time. If you're going to do a third-party figure, start with something like what Mega Ideas did by making a classic-style pair of jump starters, top spin and twin twist. These were about $70 for the pair. They're very well done, and Chris has the show exclusive version that they did. They're well built, and they do not break your wallet on the first go around from a company. This is probably one of the strongest initial releases I've ever seen in a third party since I've been buying them.
Especially for
another-
the price.
And another possibility, there's got to be a lot of MicroMasters out there that need updated if you want to have an economical, entry into third party and also something that you can learn on without, bankrupting yourself or anybody else.
So one thing I want to point out, and on the last minicast, had Diecast and Don on it, and they were going back and forth on scale, especially when it comes to Masterpiece. And I got to back Don on this because Don was 100% right in the way that he was talking about. Yeah, Don, you're totally right in talking about scale. But the third party stuff, I know that you can print out like prototypes and stuff, but it's not cheap. It's still time intensive. Sometimes, without having something in your hand to look at, figuring out the right scale, you can totally screw up. So maybe sometimes that's why these figures come out at $160 when they probably should have scaled the thing down to, $80. It's just that once you basically go so far, you can't really turn around without losing a lot of money.
And I want to say before we move on, if Brian's right and there's third-party companies listening to this podcast, prove me wrong. Send me a review copy. I'll do a review. And if it really is a good figure, I'll tell people it's a good figure. So just throwing that out there.
I also think in the current climate, a good place for like newer third-party companies to start is with like Legend scale stuff, because that can be sold cheap. It doesn't take a lot of it doesn't take a lot of material and development time to get one going. You know,
I'll say one thing. I think it requires more skill to do those, because you have to.
It depends on the design you're going for.
Well,
I think
you have to rely on panels and clips or whatever. Less. It's harder to get like something really with a lot of character in a smaller toy like that. I think it requires more design chops to do that than it does like a big monstrous
I think it's
shelf armor.
I think it's more approachable to learn off of though, just because there's less going into it in the first place.
And it's almost certainly, I would say, more likely to sell.
Yeah, you know, because right now in the third party world, these little commander class size figures are getting to be pretty popular. Like the War in the Pocket. That's the Beast Hunters Roadbuster.
Mm.
You know, the DX9 War in the Pocket, the Sky Snake Starscream that just came out from the other company.
Mhm.
So I mean, these smaller commander class size figures, like Power Core Combiner size figures, wouldn't require as much money, and it's a popular size because people I don't have anywhere for this 12-inch tall figure.
Yeah.
Well, and just in general, they are a much more approachable price point. You know, they still have third-party markup because of how they're produced, but if you can get one of those for $25 versus getting a deluxe or bigger size thing for $70 or $80, I mean, there's really no contest.
Well, heck, if Mech Ideas would keep, or if anyone would keep doing these these size figures in different characters at this quality, like two of them for $70, you know, I'd buy them all day long if it was characters, you know, that I wanted. But
Of course, there were special circumstances for those jump starter figures.
Yeah. Hey, so another company has sort of thrown their hat in the arena.
Oh boy.
Spark Toy is showing off a figure that is basically Hulkbuster Optimus. It is based on the Dreamwave Cybertronian Optimus Prime figure, but to me, he just kind of looks like Hulkbuster Iron Man.
The
Yeah,
one
that's
thing that's
the one
going for it, I think, is that it's going to be better than the titanium figure, which is the only other transforming toy of this design.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, and
I
that's
really
the,
like this
that's the
design,
one I
too.
saw the prototype of at New Jersey Comic Con this weekend, or New Jersey Collectors Con, or
What'd you think?
I liked it in person. It was very impressive.
It doesn't look bad.
I wish I would have saw them transform it, because I took photos in vehicle mode and I walked around, and they actually transformed it into robot mode. And normally with the gray prototypes, they won't transform them. So I was really shocked that it was transformed when I went back, and I took more photos and put them on Twitter. And I like it. I really think I might pick this
And
up.
this
It's
is-
just a beautiful size. It's like masterpiece size.
Yeah, I was going to say.
9 inches tall.
Yeah, it's roughly masterpiece size. So, I mean, like Don was saying, I kind of wish they would drop that third-party companies would stop looking at that masterpiece scale,
I love that scale.
or that. I love masterpiece. I mean, I really do. But
I mean, this to me more looks like going for like leader class scale.
That could be. Yeah, I'd buy that.
I wish I had a lot more desire for this figure because I have the titanium, and it's a noble effort. Just
That describes a lot of titanium, Don.
yeah, there wasn't enough mass in the figure to support the character design really, and also the weight of the die cast kind of made stuff a little floppy. This isn't one I'm going to be picking up myself, but I love the way it turned out, at least as far as this prototype goes.
I mean, it looks nice. But like, I don't have a lot of nostalgia for Dreamwave, like at all. I mean, like if somebody did a third-party upgrade kit for Devastator that had the Doll Surprise, I might buy that. But like in general, I don't have any
And the
Dreamwave
thing
nostalgia.
is, even if you wanted a figure to embody Dreamwave as a concept, you would get Revoltech Optimus Prime.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
Now,
my
that's
opinion
the
is,
closest you'll ever get to Pat Lee art in 3
I mean,
dimensions.
it's intended. It's based off Pat Lee art.
It is.
And what's weird is you could probably just do one face of Doll Surprise, and it would clip on all these different figures that exists.
I don't have any affiliation with Dreamwave Comics either, and it's just a really interesting looking Prime to me. It even has a matrix in the center of the chest. It's I'm gonna get it just because I really like that it's some sort of Optimus Prime that's different from what I have. That's why I really like the Beast Hunters Optimus Prime. Is that the
I guess you
Voyager
have an
size?
Armada Optimus.
What's that?
You have an Armada Optimus.
Yes.
Like that. That to me is the best. The best expression of Optimus without being traditional Optimus. This doesn't look like an Optimus at all. This War Within design to me. Like I see the head on there, and when it's in color, yeah, it's Optimus colors, but the design is so far removed.
I mean,
It doesn't.
It could be anybody, but it's a design that I enjoy anyway.
it's like why I said the Hulkbuster Optimus, because he's kind of got this little stubby head that just sort of hides there, behind all
Among
the
the
bulk.
huge shoulders.
Yeah. I mean, it's not bad. It is certainly not bad, but it doesn't do, kind of like the Deadpool trailer. It doesn't do anything for me. So,
Oh,
How dare you?
like I
Oh, no, that guy John is that guy John's.
Hi, John.
I have been colored by the Chris McFeely thing, and it's just changed my attitude on Deadpool entirely. And I will quote it here because it's my favorite quote about Deadpool. The people that still care about Deadpool are the people who still think that Carnage is Spider-Man's best villain. And that's like, drop the mic, the perfect way to describe Deadpool.
I didn't care about Deadpool till I started seeing those Ryan Reynolds trailers, and then I was like, yes, I'm seeing this. Deadpool is awesome.
Well, that's different.
I still don't care about Deadpool.
Yeah, well, that's different because you're a new fan. So, but people who like have held on to Deadpool for years are. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's kind of like people who, like, hold on to Power Pack. Or sorry, Don.
Or Kim Possible.
Well,
It's a good show.
Well, if y'all would open your minds and try to enjoy something decent.
hey, so on the network this week, Superhero Time presents that one episode of Star Trek, the movie Star Trek V, The Final Frontier.
Yeah, that one
God.
movie of Star Trek.
Chris, how did y'all make it through that movie sane-ish? I mean, how did you just?
Sane-ish.
It's so bad.
What does
Sane?
God need with a starship?
What does God? Yes, well, there's a reason it's called Star Trek V: The Search for Plots.
I like Star Trek V. I love Star Trek V. It's not good.
Yeah, that's one of those movies that you like for the wrong reasons.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just as a rule.
It's like the opposite of what Fantastic Four looks like.
Yeah, it's like we were talking about before the show. You know, there were people who were heavily invested in making it. I mean, especially Shatner, obviously.
Yes, you can appreciate that it's just one gigantic tribute to Shatner's ego.
Yeah, you know, passion projects have the highest capacity for hilarity, because nobody else is ever going to love them as much as the people who made them.
Exactly.
And the best thing about Star Trek V is some of the background information too, like how Cybox Horse was supposed to be literally a unicorn
Nice.
until Roddenberry vetoed it.
Was it Roddenberry? Because I'd heard he wasn't really involved very much with Star Trek V. Matter of
I think
fact,
he made an exception for that because unicorn.
okay.
So, like, Shockery is named after Sean Connery.
Yeah, because Sean Connery was supposed to be Cyborg
Yeah.
originally.
But decided to make a good movie instead.
What did he make in place of this?
Last
Indiana
Crusade.
Jones on the Last Crusade.
Oh, good.
Okay, so like what you have to remember with Star Trek V, it came out against Last Crusade, Tim Burton Batman, and other things I can't remember off the top of my head, but those
Ghostbusters
two are
2.
funny. Yeah, I mean, it had the worst stack against it that summer.
Yeah. Yeah, so
And also the worst stack against it in production. Listen to the podcast; it's very informative.
I downloaded it. I can't wait to listen. And also, did you guys ever decide? I'm assuming that you guys talked about the source of the Enterprise. So the Enterprise. So is it a retrofit? Is it a new build? Did you get into that?
we just talked under the flat assumption that they just renamed another ship.
Yeah,
Okay.
that is what they
I
did.
think to spoil the episode, I think what I said is that they took out the USS Lorenzo Lamas and renamed it the Enterprise.
Nice.
Well, actually, I remember having. I think I had the Marvel Comics color adaptation. You know, the photo film books of that. And I think in that they said they took one of the other Constellation ships and made it into.
Constitution.
I'm sorry, Constitution. I'm sorry. They took the name of one of the next ships in the fleet and basically just renamed it Enterprise. I remember that being in that book, I believe.
I just like canonically though. I don't think it was ever established that coloring book aside. So
I used to own at least one edition of the Star Trek Encyclopedia, and I swear the name of the ship that was used was in there, but I cannot remember.
I mean, the name of the ship.
Either they renamed a ship or they built it very, very, very fast.
So that's the controversy. That's the controversy.
Well,
so
that's the thing, though, because they decommissioned it after about 7 years, and they're not going to do that with a ship they just built.
Yeah, that's the controversy. So,
because in the Star Trek universe, you use a starship for literally 80 years, and maybe even longer, because Excelsiors were still in use in the first half of Next Generation.
Yeah.
And maybe Deep Space Nine, I can't remember. Yeah, because the Lakota was an Excelsior.
Yep.
Well, they talked about retiring the 1701 Enterprise because it was 20 years old.
Well,
maybe they just recycled the design.
They blew it up.
Yeah, but Kirk put like 100,000 space miles on it in that time.
Yeah.
They kind of had to. It was falling apart.
Okay.
But it was okay because he blew it up instead.
So
it was just easier to sterilize or to decommission that one than sterilize it after Kirk was done with it. So.
I like that. Okay, so Get the Skinny this week, John shares his first CrossFit experience.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was pretty awesome.
Listen for more details.
On the minicast this week, John, Diecast, and Don discuss a lot of stuff. From Detox to Devastator.
More.
To Masterpiece, Scale, third-party stuff. It's a pretty packed show.
I'm knee-deep in Detox.
Yeah. And this week in Awesome, being awesome, this week, Rob talks about TFCon Charlotte. Hey, Rob, what's going on T-Formers this week?
Okay, well, this week I've got a review of Transformers versus G.I. Joe number 8, and XV's got Transformers issue 44. And also there's some excerpts and a link to a really good interview with Margaret Scott and Corinne Howell, who, of course, are currently working on Windblade, and, of course, Margaret Scott also wrote the Combiner Hunters one-shot and worked on Combiner Wars, so a lot of interesting information in there. So that's pretty much the highlights.
Cool. Hey, so real quick, I just want to mention this to talk about this. So I am going on vacation at the end of next month, and my wife has been spending all of her mental energy trying to sort this out. And ironically, I will need somebody to cover the show at the end of September. So basically, we're going to Florida. We're going to Disney first. But the question is, are we going to Universal Studios, where they could ride Transformers The Ride, or are we going to Legoland?
Legoland.
So
Legoland if you're taking your wife.
Legoland is more for kids, isn't it?
Lego is all ages appropriate, Diecast.
We looked at the rides that were available when we were down in Florida, and it looked like it was more kiddie than anything, so we opted not to go to Legoland. Plus, it was about 45 minutes to an hour away from Orlando.
So all of us who here has actually ridden Transformers The Ride, Rob and I have.
Yeah. I have.
So Kim hasn't, my nephew hasn't, and I'm going with my mother-in-law as well. She hasn't. Should I subject them to the ride? It's fun.
No.
Yeah, it's an okay ride. My mother went on it.
I have a problem with roller coasters and things like that. Not from a sickness standpoint, just for various reasons. And but I had a lot of fun on the Transformers ride. But even though you're on a rail and you're not actually falling, there's one part where when you are falling down the building, it
scared the crap out of me the first time I did it.
Yeah. So if they have any problem with heights, I would be kind of just again, it's the whole visual trickery of the way it's set up.
Rob and I got to ride it as many times as we wanted to with no wait, basically. And I know I have a pretty good feeling of how the ride is, but like my wife and everybody will have to wait like an hour and a half or 2 hours to actually get on it. So,
Well,
and the ride is the main reason that I would actually go back to Universal Studios would be for the Transformers ride, so that I could share that experience with Kim, because she couldn't go back in when Rob and I went because she got the flu while we were
Would
there.
Kim care about the Transformers ride?
I think she would enjoy it a lot.
All I can say is that from my perspective on that,
So Rob, can you repeat that? I lost you.
I said my recommendation would be not to do that like first thing after a full day of travel, because that was a lot to attempt to process when I was that tired.
I agree with you. So fortunately, we'll be going to Disney first. We'll be spending like 3 or 4 days there. Then we would go to the last leg and go either to Universal Studios or to Legoland. And
well, Brian, just a quick question: couldn't you drop a day at Disney and then do both, so that way you wouldn't have to compromise?
Disney is how many days are you doing Disney?
3 or 4, I'm not certain.
You're gonna need. I mean, Disney takes at least 4 days to.
Okay, all right. See, I've never actually been to Disney other than
I know people who spent a whole week at Disney and still didn't get to do everything they planned to.
I spent
Yeah.
a day at
Yeah.
Universal Studios and didn't get to do everything I wanted. So
Interesting. This is food for thought, guys. I think we're going to Legoland.
Hooray! XV was right.
Yes.
Well, at least we'll get to hear how it is.
yeah.
Yes.
I'll be posting photos to Facebook and Twitter. At BKilby, by the way. Guys, Don, what's your Twitter?
at HMRC the number 4 EVR.
I don't know what that means. Chris.
What?
Yes, Diecast. Diecast 2.
At Diecast 2.
Matt doesn't have it.
non-existent.
Rob Clay is at Rob.
At RAC2750.
And John.
That John D.
Sweet. So I'm mentioning Twitter because we used to do that every show, and we don't do it anymore. And I want to hit 1,000 followers because I don't have 1,000 followers, and I need that. So
You really don't know what my Twitter handle stands for.
I'm joking, Don.
Okay, I was going to say.
I'm joking. And Chris is at Chris something. XRV.
I'm gonna go change my username to that. Chris something something.
It used to be easy. Now it's like something. Twitter.
Although I think that would exceed the character limit, unfortunately.
Twitter.
Oh wow! At some point, I passed 400 followers. When did that happen?
Cool.
Although I bet half of them are robots.
Oh yeah, of course. Half of anyone's followers are robots.
Are you still squatting Sad Riker?
Yes, I am because I still get email notifications for it.
Very nice.
Okay.
At BKilby, please follow.
Maybe I should just make Sad Riker my primary Twitter.
You should.
No, I'm not doing that.
I should actually just make. Yeah, never mind. Okay.
I came up with that.
As it happens, I'm squatting about 15 Twitter accounts, but most of them, there's no point in mentioning those.
I'm squatting several RFC related accounts.
I'm not.
So Brian, how many domains do you own now? That
I can tell you.
that's okay. I just
Not
kidding.
as many as I used to.
Well, you dropped the best one
Blah blah
Blah,
Digimon.
of Digimon. Yeah,
Right now I only have
you could use that when Try comes out.
domain manager. This is enthralling radio.
Yeah.
So, but I need to know. I've got to satisfy my curiosity. Only 23.
Only 23.
It's really
22. This one doesn't belong to me. I'm just hosting it on. I'm hosting the DNS for it. And most of them are RFC stuff. Only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are not. So they are various things around our podcast or projects that I want to do eventually. Like I still have JoeCast and CobraCast. Eventually I will use those. Even if I just point to somebody else. Yeah. Yes. Man, I have tmntpodcast.com and it doesn't get used anymore.
You still have SHT podcast, right?
Yeah. Sure.
I need to start utilizing that.
Yeah. Let me know that when you do because I need to actually point it.
Why don't you just go ahead and point it?
Yeah, I guess I could. Okay, that's it. people watching
Great
live,
podcasting, guys.
yes, apologize for the video crash. If you're listening, you have no idea what I'm talking about. We'll see you next week. Have a good one.
Take care, everybody.
I need to check YouTube because I saw when I logged in today that there was a change to the system. I'm betting it's something like that. So
That
I have
would be ridiculous.
what? Yeah, I know. I have briankobe.com, .net, .org. Oh, I let .org go. Did I let .org go? Oh my goodness, I did. I have a couple for Kim. And a bunch of RFC ones.
Not really related to Transformers, but I just want to mention this because I know we're still streaming.
Yeah, because the domains are totally related to Transformers.
But if anyone's interested in the Star Wars Black series, my local Toys R Us marked down the Jabba set and the indoor speeder bike
It's
set
only
down.
$45 now.
No, they're $20.
Oh,
That's actually decent.
I would actually buy that.
Yeah, I'm going to pick up the speeder bike. 'Cause I've got the big Target one from several years ago, the big 1/6 scale one.
Yeah.
But I wanted a smaller one to open, so I could leave the bigger one in the box.
Let me take that back. No, I wouldn't buy it. It's kind of like when I was looking at the SDCC exclusive stuff. I'm like, I can't buy it. I don't have room.
Well, yeah, that and I know my local Walmart when I was there last had marked down some stuff as well, and they had the Star Wars Black 6-inch figures marked down to 15. But one other Walmart a friend of mine told me about, theirs was marked down to 9, but that was way out of my
Yeah,
getting there.
I am right now being hyper selective about what I buy toy wise because I do not have room.
Yeah, yeah, that's my
Oh,
problem
yeah.
now. I have nowhere to put this.
Yeah, mine is sitting on my
I know.
desk.
It is awesome, but I mean, I have nowhere to put it.
Well, like I've said, I am so Star Wars out, but it's just for $20, and I've got a $10 off Toys R Us coupon. For $10, that Biker Scout is a really nice piece.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, I really don't have. I'm still Star Wars out. I mean, the last thing I bought was a Star Wars Transformer. How long has it been since they've made those?
Yeah,
Well, since they made them or since they've been in stores, there's a difference.
But no, there are a couple of I wish they hadn't favored the ship designs as much. But again, that's what Lucas would do, is make sure the ships look right, and what you can get out of them is what you can get out of them. But it's just so
And
easy.
for my purposes, I would rather have the ships look more right than have like super good-looking robots. Because being Transformers fans, we're used to robots looking a little weird.
Yeah. But I'll be honest, probably the best if anyone wants to go out and get any of the Star Wars Transformers, the Millennium Falcon is still my favorite.
I understand that it has breakage problems now because of the brown plastic in it.
Yeah, I've heard Chewbacca has some issues with breakage, but I haven't transformed mine in a while, so I can't verify that.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather not verify it if I can help it. I can definitely report that I just broke my toy.
Well,
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
now what I always wanted Star Wars Transformers to really be was Transformers characters turning into Star Wars ships. So
Yeah.
that
that
line
would
was
have
always
made
kind
sense.
of a disappointment to me.
Like a Grimlock ATST.
Unicron
Yes.
Death Star.
Uh-huh.
Oh, obviously.
Optimus Prime Rebel Cruiser.
Mm-hmm.
Megatron, of course, be a Star Destroyer
Yes.
or Super Star Destroyer.
Galvatron would be the Superstar Destroyer.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Actually, I think, Galvatron would be something else.
Hmm.
Megatron would be a Star Wars blaster.
Yeah, he'd be Han Solo.
There we go.
Han Solo's blaster.
I don't know the Biker Scout blaster that they store they store there in the boot holster is kind of neat because I've got that.
Oh, yeah.
But I've got it.
Well, the thing is, like, any old Star Wars pistol would work for a Megatron because they're all built around real gun frames.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Starscream would be maybe like the TIE Advanced, not the one.
A TIE Interceptor.
Yeah, Yeah,
Because you had the triangle-shaped wings that you could still make the right shape on the back with.
yeah. Ooh, this is a pretty interesting.
Yes, we're revisiting conversations that people like us had, back when Star Wars Transformers was originally announced. And then we were all super disappointed.
Yes.
And then we actually got some of the toys and we were more disappointed.
Well, I have a couple that I do like. The Millennium Falcon, the Y-wing is not bad. I'm trying to remember the other ones I've got. Which one was it? I'm too tired to think.
I like Star Wars ship designs in general, but I never thought many of them actually made good transforming things.
Ooh, at Ironhide.
Yes.
I was thinking like at Devastator.
The AT-AT?
Yeah.
That'd be weird.
Sure.
I mean, like, the obvious thing would be like that GoBots carrier thing, I think.
Yeah, the GoBots Command Center.
Millennium Falcon Omega Supreme.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And what'll be sad is if
finally,
we get that before
they
an
made
animated Omega, I can just hear Paladin scream all the way from here.
I don't want a transforming animated Omega Supreme for animated reasons. I want one based on the design just because I like that arc design
Oh, yes.
and the Omega Supreme robot design that came out of it.
Exactly, because I mean, he doesn't have to be a parts combiner to look like Omega Supreme should look.
No, it doesn't. Like I'm very well over animated as a thing at this point.
Yeah.
I still love
But I
it.
still want that design to be revisited
Yeah.
in a more general style.
See,
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's a way they can make the animated Omega, but maybe tweak it just enough to maybe look not quite as animated. Does that make sense? It's
Yeah,
I think-
take the design, but make it in a different style.
Yeah, they've done
Right.
that with Lugnut among others.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Oh man, a Titan class Omega Supreme that turned into the Arc would be great.
Yeah.
Yes.
scale with Devastator. Oh,
Uh-huh.
well, maybe next year, 2016 Christmas.
No, because that's gonna be Fortress Maximus,
Yeah, maybe a year after though.
probably.
Maybe after. Hey,
It depends how and when.
Unless Fortress Maximus is a 2017 toy.
Yeah, it depends how and when Titan Wars actually happens, because like they could have as much lead time as they want at Fortress Maximus if it's just retooling Metroplex.
Yeah.
that will be a real disappointment to me because I just don't see that Metroplex being a decent Fortress Maximus. I just can't visualize it. Again, they're doing wonderful things with Combiner Wars remolding and tweaking, but I just can't see that Metroplex mold being a good Fortress Maximus.
Well, they have done good things with remolding and retweaking. They're not anymore.
I'm hoping we'll see pictures of Bruticus, but that probably won't be for another couple. I mean, Japanese Bruticus.
Oh yeah,
So
that's going to be a little while.
Yeah, because
Yeah, because they have to make their blast off shuttle first. So
I would imagine like Yuki could probably end up teasing that in the fall, but we probably won't actually see anything of it until like Winter Wonderfest.
yeah, because we're not going to get Defensor until December is when that's
Right.
being released. I mean, it's been out here for months.
And there is a silhouette of the Autobot combiner too. That if that's happening, they have to get through before they can get to a Bruticus.
Yeah, and we've still got months to go before the U.S. release of Bruticus. So
yeah.
you're probably looking at about a year or so.
Yeah, I would
until
assume
we get a
Takara Bruticus would be at least next summer before it would
Yeah.
come out.
Well,
Unfortunately.
it's Devastator's probably the only one I'm going to be able to double dip on, but there's such a lot of differences. Now, granted, if they do a blast off in Japan,
I can't imagine they wouldn't.
I know. It's just, but see, I'm being the Bruticus fanboy that I am.
Yeah, you want the most correct one you can get.
If people
Yeah.
watching live, I won't have to kill the stream out. We'll catch you later.
Take care, bye.